Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of August the 19th, 2024. Get your game face on. This is a really volatile launch to the week. Last few planetary energy forecasts, it feels like over the last month or two, it seems like a lot of the extreme energy seems to be happening on Mondays, right? But this Monday is a really powerful but difficult full moon in the sign of Aquarius. So there's so many things happening here. All right, first of all, we've got the sun with Mercury. So Mercury is how we speak, talk, communicate. It's moving backwards. It's locked back in with the sun again. So the sun is kind of like blotting that energy out. Now it stands across the sky from the moon, right? That's what a full moon is. But they both angle in a difficult configuration to Uranus, the planet of shocking events, which is over there in Taurus, right? So that would make this a volatile full moon all by itself. But there's more. We have Venus in the sign of Virgo, right? She doesn't really like being there, but she's trying to analyze things. She's trying to make the best possible decisions, right? She is standing right across the sky from Saturn, the planet of limitation, restriction, and hard lessons. And they both are in a difficult angle, a square, to Jupiter, the planet of blessings and abundance. So I've talked quite a bit about this connection with Saturn and Jupiter, which we are going to be surfing all the way through the end of the month. That this volatile energy could be very tricky. It is going to kind of dampen your optimism a little bit. It could bring a flood of ideas. It could bring issues surrounding communication for sure, because of this energy, because Mercury is retrograde, and then we have that Jupiter in the sign of communication, just throwing a million ideas out there, right? Having 17 conversations at once and not gaining any clarity. And then there's the Saturn pulsing away saying, hey, come on, that there needs to be a little bit more to this. There needs to be more substance to your tap dance over there, Jupiter. So it is an extremely volatile full moon. I would not suggest cord cutting or major rituals for this moon. I'm almost treating this like an eclipse because of the massive amount of energy here. But you will see that something needs to be taken out or away from that Aquarius area of life. So hold on loosely, all right? It occurs at 2:26 p.m. Eastern, so that's something to take note of. Another thing to take note of is that immediately as it hits that full moon, it voids. Okay, so, and it doesn't come out of the void until 6:52 p.m. Eastern. So if you are going to honor this moon in any way, that's a lovely time for meditation and things like that. But if you really are wanting to, let something go consciously or ritualize it, you'll need to wait until after 6:52 p.m. Eastern on that day, okay? Now, that Mars, Venus, Saturn, Mars starts to step into the clash with Venus and Saturn, and that becomes a little bit more intense as we move into the 20th. Let me take a quick look at the planets here. Yeah, because Venus is moving to 19 and we've got Mars at 20. And so there's beginning to be this tension between Mars and Venus. Now they'll move away from the Saturnian vibe of it and just be engaged in this conflict together. But still, it's from that Virgo to the Gemini area of life that it's argumentative. Venus is like, this is really how we should be doing it. And Mars is like, yeah, well, I feel like doing 17 things. And I might do them half-assed. And I really don't want to hear you're telling me what to do. So watch how that might unfold in your life and be careful, be cautious. Now, Mercury is beginning to get away from the sun on the 21st, and that will be good, okay? It will feel like it's a little less exhausted or burnt out. And Mars will begin to get away from Jupiter, and that also will tone things down just a little bit in that Gemini area of life where the volume has been up so high. Now, on the 22nd, the sun will slip into the sign of Virgo, so happy solar return to my beautiful Virgo friends. I'm surrounded by Virgos. I love Virgos. I love their earthiness. I love their truth-telling. I love how hard they work to achieve their goals. I am so inspired by Virgos. So, but for your birthday this year, you get a little Venus in Virgo square the Mars in Gemini. And so there's just a little argumentative edge to things, as I mentioned before. That is in play through about the 28th. So, love, money, discussions, be sweet, be kind, understand how harsh sometimes the way you say something could come off. And I don't mean just Virgo sons, I mean everybody, with this Venus and Virgo and Mercury still not feeling, empowered, but wanting to be heard in Leo, right? On the 23rd, Mercury will send beautiful energy to Chiron. Chiron's like the saving grace this month. It's like if you're doing the work, if you're immersed in doing the work, you have these blessing and benefits that will really help you to understand these things in a cosmic sense. I'm also watching the 23rd because the moon is void like all day, 8:44 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern. So adjust that for your time zone, but the 23rd, you might as well save that for creative projects and pursuits or working in the garden. You're not going to get a lot of traction as far as linear thinking. Now, that Mars begins to pick up not just a lovely energy to the Chiron now, but to Mercury. And so again, conversations, opportunities to discuss, to think through, to really examine, understand some of these things, some of these issues that you may have had. And then we finish up the week with the moon moving into Taurus, which, is a great little massage moon. So by the end of the week, make sure you've scheduled some time outside to go on a hike, to get a massage, take care of your physical body. That is a good way to handle all this volatile energy. All right. So for the week, as far as the light, I'm really liking the Mars positive connection to Mercury. As much as that Martian energy, you have to kind of understand how Mars functions in your own life. We all have to figure that out. For example, I have Mars in Libra, sorry. I have Mars in Libra. And so that's why I don't like to argue. I like to be the peacemaker. I waffle on decisions. I have trouble moving forward sometimes, right? And so when I think about it being in this area of life for me, with it being in Gemini, it's up there in my house that relates to teaching and sharing information. And so I'm really, looking at that as like, I need to kind of resolve my natal by leaning into this transit, right? So that's why having a reading can be super helpful, just to understand how these things are functioning in your chart and in your world. So I would lean into that. I'm really looking forward to Virgo season. I love me some Virgos, and I think it's a really great time to be a little bit more, to get my routine back on track, focused on health. I remember when my children were school age, Virgo season would come and I would be, when it's May or June, you're like, oh my God, thank goodness there's no schedule. And then Virgo season comes in the fall and you're like, thank goodness there's a schedule. So I'm looking forward to that. Those are, I would say, the two beautiful light or high vibrational things to lean into this week. As far as the shadow, well, there's so much stressful energy as we start the week with that full moon. And so, as I mentioned last week, engage in your practices to steady your mind, to steady your consciousness, and move through this skillfully. Avoid that argumentative edge, avoid that only talking about things and not doing it. Don't get caught up in media, social media, constantly checking your phone. I work with Karina Groling. She does this amazing podcast called Thrive. And she's an Ayurvedic health coach that helps people with hormonal challenges, digestive issues, because, if your body's not functioning well, the rest of you isn't, okay? And we do this monthly podcast called Astroveda where I talk about the astrology, and she talks about Ayurvedic kind of cures to work with the astrology. And she has so many great tips as far as understanding how what we consume affects us. And remember, when you say consume something, it's not just what you eat, okay? You consume with your eyes, you consume with your ears, you consume energy from around you. And so all of this impacts you. And so you have to be very discerning, especially in these challenging astrological moments. All right, well, I wish you a marvelous week. I'm looking forward to seeing if the tarot has some helpful guidance for us as we enter this somewhat volatile phase. Yeah, stay grounded, my friends. Stay safe. Namaste. Hello, my beautiful friends. Namaste, and welcome to the Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of August the 19th, 2024. Yo, sketchy full moon. We start the week with some challenges, for sure. So let's take a look and see how we are guided through this week. Definitely was some new stuff initiated last week that we've got to think about. And this is for the collective, week of the 19th. All right. So as you know, that very first card is the basic influence of the past. So where we're coming from, and that is this Seven of Swords. We're trying not to miss out on an opportunity. We're trying not to, steal from ourselves in the way of either leaking energy. There's so much volatile energy that really the mental stuff could be really causing harm to us. So we've got to really pay attention to our minds. And here's the devil. Geez, the devil every single week. So this is you, right? So you've got to watch that you are not succumbing to the negative emotions, to fear, to doubt, to, negative patterns of trying to stem the subconscious thoughts or patterns, right? You've got to really watch. Careful. Interesting. Environment. We've got the same card that popped up last week. Ten of Cups. Remember what we're focused on here, okay? The environment is you are loved and supported. You have people. You do. You have people. And as these things come together, judgment. Again, you've got to make a decision. Big decision. A big life decision. Now, the opposing forces in play, the moon. Okay, yeah, you've got to make this decision, but you might not have all the facts. There could be things going on that you're unaware of. Things simmering under the surface of the water, so to speak, but the emotions are running high this week. So try to slow down. On the other side, we have the Fool. Okay, the Fool popped up last week as well. You have infinite possibilities. You are part of this creator energy of this universe. See your role. All right, the near future detail card, the World. Yeah, you got to think big picture. We're on this collective journey. We really are. And so, but you are moving in the right direction. Believe in yourself. All right. The modifiers for the moon side, the Hierophant. You're either dispensing advice or receiving it. This favors a more traditional approach to something. On the Fool side, King of Cups. Lock into your intuition. Make your decisions intuitively. On the moon side, Four of Swords. Once you get that advice, then bide your time, okay? Prepare and wait. On the Fool side, it's Three of Swords. So there's going to be a little bit of emotionality here, a little difficulty, the mind piercing the heart, so to speak. So watch that. Again, watch your mind. Now, our two possible progressions, the way things are going to move out here. On the moon side, Queen of Cups. You stepping into a role as someone who helps others. On the Fool side, watch out for the Eight of Swords, mental limitation. Again, the mind. And the mind again. On the moon side, paired with the Queen of Cups, here's our immature bratty kid. Watch that you're not operating immaturely, especially your mind. I mean, the mind is very much like a toddler. At least my mind is like a toddler. And then on the Fool side, this abundance card. Nine of Cups, joy, pleasure, abundance, reasons to celebrate. So emotional fulfillment versus mental fulfillment. Watch your mind. So two definitely distinct different ways to work with the energy here, but assurance of success. Just watch this, there's stuff going on. You might need to check in with somebody who understands the challenges you're facing and gives you some ideas about how to move forward. Be patient. Trust your intuition and watch your mind. On the other side, infinite possibilities abound. Step into that kingly role. But really, again, watch the mind. Trust the intuition, watch the mind. Trust the intuition, watch the mind. I feel like that's the clear message for this week. All right. I am wishing you the most marvelous week. I will be with you every step of the way as we wade into the fall. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next week. Bye.